복장이 눈에 띄게 화려한 건 츠바이 기사단의 복식 때문도 있겠지만 이러면 난전 속에서는 눈에 띄는 갑옷을 입은 저희에게 시선이 더 쏠려서 생존자를 무시한대요. 망토가 거추장스럽다고 생각했는데 그런 이유도 있더라고요.
Greetings and salutations, everyone. I'm Mac. This is Let's Play Limbus Company Oblivion. In the last episode, we went through the Uptie story for Zoe Sinclair, and there was actually a spelling mistake at some point where they referred to the well-dressed client as the well-dressed blood bag. Apparently that was a glitch, but people were wondering if it might be spoilers. We also carved a bit of our way through the Inferno. Here it is recounted the tale of the forlorn king and the family that was once happy. Okay. And yeah, I'd say we're pretty well suited. I mean, I could always swap the Don Quixote out for her base identity. That's always an option. But no, I think I'm just gonna stick with she. We're lower than the recommended level for the stage. I'm fine with that. The thing is, the level keeps bouncing up and down, so I'd rather just stick with what we have.
축하드립니다. 용감한 탐험가 여러분. 왕국의 비밀을 모두 밝혀내셨군요. 바깥에서 두려움을 마주했을 때도 언제나 용감하게 이겨내시길 바라면서 이후 혈기와의 오싹한 포토타임을 진행해줄 헌티드 블러드베리의 혈기들을 소개해드리겠습니다.
내레이션이 끊겼네요. 뭐 소개할 혈기들은 이미 저희가 전부 처리했지만요.
Yeah, we already killed all the carnival workers.
아마도 직진.
직접 나와서 진행했을 것 같다고 하시네요.
슬프게도 왕국의 비밀에 대한 단서는 앞서 다녀간 손님들이 모두 없애버렸고.
Oh. Yeah, that would explain it, wouldn't it? Did the voice just change? It wasn't the audio quality this time, right?
산손이라는 자의 목소리와 같군.
여러분을 깜짝 놀라게 해주었던 혈귀 배우들도 전부 사라져버렸네요.
그 악한 자들은 모두 응징했다네.
심지어 내레이션을 맡은 분까지. 아무래도 포토타임보다는 이 왕국의 비밀에 대해 해설이 필요할 것 같군요.
The voice beyond the speaker began with a hint of excitement, as though he'd been expecting this situation all along. Maybe he's expecting something to come of this.
왕은 아주 넓은 성 안에서 오랫동안 홀로 살아왔습니다. 아무도 없는 곳에서 살아간다는 것은 쉬운 일이 아니었을 테죠.
The King in Vines! Actually, now I'm wondering if the boss of this area is going to get a Heathcliff identity, if only for that.
쓸쓸한 아침, 고요한 밤, 왕의 마음은 하루도 빠짐없이 공허함으로 가득했답니다. 그래서 왕은 너무나 외로웠던 나머지 가족이라는 존재를 바라게 되었습니다. 간절히, 아주 간절히요. 그래서 왕은 소원대로 평생을 함께할 피로 이어진 가족을 만들기 시작했답니다. 왕은 모든 가족에게 아낌없는 사랑을 주었어요. 그러자 싸늘했던 성이 어느새 웃음이 넘쳐나는 모두의 집이 되었습니다. 하지만 행복이라는 건 오래가지 못하는 걸까요? 행복이 이어지던 어느 날, 먼 왕국에서부터 한 기사가 놀러왔습니다. 기사는 성 밖 곳곳을 여행하다 온 자로 수백 가지의 모험과 수천 가지의 이야기를 품고 있는 자였습니다. 평생을 성 안에서만 지냈던 왕은 기사에게 이야기를 들려달라고 부탁했습니다. 기사가 거절할 이유는 없었죠. 기사는 말했습니다. 내가 본 세상, 내가 겪은 모험, 그 모두를 왕께 들려드리리라. 곧 성안은 왕의 가슴을 뛰게 하는 흥미진진한 모험 이야기로 가득 찼습니다. 하루는 거친 파도를 넘어 나선 항해를, 다른 날에는 어떤 이들의 절절한 사랑을, 또 다른 날에는 괴물과의 사투를. 이야기는 끝을 모르고 이어졌죠.
Interesting. It almost sounds like Sherazade, who is the author of 1001 Arabian Nights. I quite like that character.
며칠 밤낮을 꼬박 세워가며 기사의 이야기를 듣고 있던 왕은 어느 날 한 가지 중요한 진실을 깨달아 버리고 말았습니다. 피를 나눈 가족만으로는, 성 안에서의 행복만으로는 자신의 공허함이 완전히 채워질 수 없다는 것. 그래서 왕은 자신의 빈 부분을 기사의 모험담으로 채우기 시작했습니다. 그러면서 서서히 가족에게만 향하던 사랑은 모험을 향해, 기사를 향해, 그리고 성의 바깥을 향해 키워나갔죠. 가족들은 그것이 오래가지 않을 것이라 생각했습니다. 낡아 빠진 신발에 철로 만든 창을 들고 잠깐의 꿈에 빠졌을 뿐이라 여겼죠.
No, you can't possibly be implying that Don Quixote is the king.
그래서 가족들은 기다렸습니다. 자신들에게 공허함을 되물려준 왕이, 창조자가 다시 자신들만을 사랑해 줄 것을. 하지만 기다림의 끝에 들은 왕의 말은 가족들에게 조금도 달콤하지 않았습니다. 이 성을 허물고 성 밖의 모든 사람들과 친구가 되자, 왕은 그렇게 외쳤죠. 가족들은 두려웠습니다. 성을 허문다는 건 곧 그들의 아늑하고도 영원할 터전을 부순다는 것이었으니까요. 하지만 왕의 뜻을 존중하고 왕을 사랑한 가족들은 모두가 삽을 들고 한 마음으로 성을 부수기 시작했습니다. 그러나 성 밖의 사람들은 성 안의 사람들과는 너무나 다른 삶을 살고 있었기에 왕의 가족들은 많은 걸 버려야 했습니다. 기쁨, 즐거움, 탄성, 쾌락, 희망, 기대. 이 모든 걸 포기해야만 그들은 서로가 친구가 될 수 있었습니다. 따라서 왕은 가족들이 행복해지는 걸 금지했습니다. 성 밖의 행복한 사람들을 지켜보는 것만으로도 가족들이 그 행복을 나눠받아 함께 행복해질 수 있을 거라고 믿었습니다. 그들의 행복이 언젠가 우리의 행복이 될 수 있을 것이라 믿었던 거죠.
I have to wonder how much of these stories are metaphors and how much of them are true.
그리하여 행복해지기 위한 우리의 모든 노력은 죄가 되었습니다. 왜 우리의 행복은 회개를 받아야 하는 걸까요?
가족. 대체 무슨 이야기를 하고 싶었던 걸까요?
구구절절 헛소리로군.
Ugh.
재미있는 이야기네요. 저 가족에겐 행복이라는 게 정말 있긴 했을까요?
Meanwhile, Honglu is just cutting straight to his literature club discussions. While everyone else found themselves rendered speechless by this gloomy tale, Honglu did not hesitate to share his thoughts as though it was just another light-hearted tale.
아, 저기 출구 표시가 보여요. 이 어트랙션은 이걸로 끝인가 봐요.
Yeah, it says something under there. There was a sign on the wall with instructions written in bolded letters. All blood fiends must attend at least one weekly consultation session with the priest.
면담 시간.
무엇에 대한 면담인 것일지.
글쎄, 어떤 것이든 고해라든가.
뭐 그래도 옛날에는 나만 차례인데도 나름 노력했던 모양이네.
정말로 상생을 꿈꿨던 것일지도 모르겠구려.
아니, 그럴 리 없다네. 다 간악한 술수일 테지.
Dolly just doesn't want to believe in anything but black and white. And now we have combat because of course. Ooh, Wrath skills are one of Donnie's starting fatal effects. She might be in a bit of trouble there. She has better than bad odds, but it's not the best situation to be in.
대가리 딱 떼고.
합격장.
There's something incredibly satisfying about Arcor Mersault's skill 1. You know what? Guard. We can get whistles this turn. Incidentally, 9 enemies though, and we already start off with a Ghost Blood Fiend. Mind you, if Don Quixote is actually the true boss, he's actually the true leader of all this area, then it actually does lead to a, okay, yeah. Basically, if what they're saying is, both of these people can, if Don Quixote is the true heart of this theme park, where everyone was setting up their attractions to entertain her, then they must be absolutely livid hearing her saying things of this order that, no, there's no way we could coexist. You're the one who put us here. Yeah. Turn 3, no kills.
정신 차릴 수 없을 것이오. 내 죄는 내가 알아서 처리한다.
Okay, so we have 5 enemies to go. And frankly, I would feel better if we just come swinging straight with the Sangre de Sancho.
점 찍었네.
달려라 루신한테! 정의는 승리한다!
I was actually thinking for a while back there, maybe we're being too hasty thinking about Yuri Don Quixote because of the whole thing going on with Dulcinea, but who knows? Yeah, you can actually see that slight bit of offense level difference that Ryoshu wasn't able to stagger and kill, so the final hit was resisted and not an instant kill. Only ashes remain.
점 찍었네.
정신 차릴 수 없을 것이오.
이미 도달했다.
생명 활동의 정지를 확인했다.
You know, they didn't mention whether the knight who came to the castle might have become a blood fiend or not. Huh.
내 죄는 내가 알아서 처리한다. 해.
점 찍었네.
꽤 떨려라. 생명 활동의 정지를 확인했다.
착각하지 마라. 해파, 거태. 내 놈들 덕분에 내가 강해진 게 아니다. 내가 강하기엔
I want to look at this aside from just clean these out, but can I look? Show me the battle pass. I'm not allowed to look at anything that isn't unlocked yet. Darn it. I was really wondering what Mersault and Don Quixote's version of Yearning would have been like. Anyhow, here's the question that we need to double check on. This is combat and this is story. Okay. For your mental health. In that case, Uptie's story then. Also, this is just... Ever since I saw this image, I have been consistently thinking of that one time in Fairly Odd Parents. I'm respecting your authority. I'm respecting your privacy by knocking, by asserting my authority as your figure, as your parent by coming in anyway. Only here it's, I'm respecting your privacy by knocking, but I'm asserting my authority as the Fanghunt by coming in anyway. Crash. Okay, so speed goes up from 2-6 to 3-6. He gains skill 3, a cheerful hunt end. If the target has 15 rupture and 3 rupture count, yeah, it doesn't consume... Well, no, it doesn't inflict rupture count, but it still consumes it. It gains coin power. I don't like it. The coin power goes up by 1, so now he rolls 11. Bone Crusher, plus 5. If target has this, then gain 1 coin power. Inflict healing down. Combat start support passive. One ally with a higher sum of bleed count and potency loses 2 bleed count. Ooh. When one ally with the fastest speed hits an enemy with rupture, inflict 1 defense level down 2 times per turn. Interesting.
먹잇감이라고 생각했던 존재에게 사냥당하는 기분은 어떠신가요?
Yeah, he has 2. He's basically got 2 backup passives there. Don't know whether he'll replace Keiko or Honglu though. Hello? Anyone home? I hear on good authority that this was your hideout, so I wonder why you're ignoring me. The child strode confidently through the dilapidated, run-down hallway of an old building. he comes to a sudden stop in front of a small door at the metallic stench of blood. The child raises his hand, soft and clean, unlike his outfit and brutish manner in which he carried himself. He gently places it on the door handle. "Excuse me, may I enter?" His voice is bright and upbeat. But between every knock, his voice drips with murderous intent, so intense it couldn't be masked. Perhaps whoever was in hiding could sense it too. A barely noticeable sound of breathing seeped past the doorframe. Barely noticeable. But that hint of profound terror carried by that slightest exhale brought a grin to the child's lips. He simply could not help it. "Aha! Are we playing hide and seek? Pretending to be unavailable?" "I can hear your breathing, you know. If you won't open up, then..." Still, there was no reply, but the silence seemed to have only emboldened the child. He slowly and casually lifts his leg, then kicked the door down. "You leave me no choice but to let myself in." Ugh! The door splinters open and the blood fiend who'd been hiding and listening from behind the door gets flung across the room. The child smiles cheerfully at the blood fiend on the ground. "Oh, why didn't you just open up when I asked you so nicely? You gave me no option, you know. It's not like we'll turn a blind eye and walk away just because you're holed up in here like a dirty little rat. How did you find this place? I'm impressed by the bond between you and your family. They knew the addresses of every single one of their relatives, including yours." The child lightly tapped a photograph framed on a wall with his hammer and took a slow look around the room. There was a whole mound of letters on the table, while framed group photos with other blood fiends were placed about the room. The blood fiend realized that something must have happened to his family. Something awful. If they were forced to spill even his location, then... "Wait, there's been a misunderstanding. Can we talk first? Without waving that hammer in my face?" Misunderstanding? "Yeah, a misunderstanding. I've never hurt a human before. I always kept to myself, drinking blood only from humans who were already dead." The blood fiend wasn't lying. Blood fiends hiding out in this area were yet to hurt a human. They've been stalking the back streets, subsiding on stale blood from corpses. And an inexperienced fixer on their first blood fiend hunt might hesitate upon hearing this, but... It didn't matter to this child who's been in the business for a while. "Ah, yep, I remember. That's exactly what your family told me. My children would never spill the beans on me. Unless you... What have you done to my family? They had the audacity to buy a human. How uncivilized, So I employed a little ice-breaking trick my grandfather taught me. And it worked. It really was a chatterbox. Started sharing all kinds of fun stories with me." "Broke the ice? You just tortured my family?" "Oh, don't be overdramatic. I don't think it was that bad. At least, not enough to be called torture." Why are you doing this to us? We've never made a blood bag. We've never even made a blood bag. Not one. We just wanted to live. We just wanted to live a life like anyone else. Why are you doing this?" "What? Oh, that's..." The child started, then stopped himself with a scoff. Maybe he thought whatever he said wouldn't matter. So the child's answer to the blood fiend's cries was far from logical, almost flippant. "Because you're a blood fiend. What other reason do I need?" What the hell? Oops, we've wasted enough time. Shall we begin? I hope to hear many, many stories from you tonight, too. Stories about your family? The child produced a silver bottle and swished it in front of the blood fiend. Then... Go away! Get that thing away from me! What's so scary about this little vial of water? A drop of water falls through a small crack in the vial. As soon as the drop lands on his skin, the blood fiend begins to convulse, an inhuman scream escaping from his mouth. The child continued to swish the vial in front of the blood fiend until... He grew so exhausted that he couldn't even scream anymore. Then the child picked up the hammer. That sure was scary, huh? Don't worry, I'll help you forget this horror soon enough. As the blood fiend shuddered helplessly from the sheer horror engraved in his instincts, the child suddenly raised the hammer and brought it down upon his leg. Wow, you can regenerate from a crushed leg? Your kind sure are persistent. He continued to pummel the blood fiend's legs with the hammer, until they were nothing more than shards of bone among a sludge of meat, so that he may never pursue a human again, so he may never flee from hunters such as himself again. Just then the child crushed his arms so he may never grab a human. How? Then he held the blood fiend's jaws open and pulled his teeth out one by one, so he may never bite a human. Much blood have you drunk to keep regenerating like this? What followed was a brutal, one-sided beatdown. You're holding out for longer than I expected, but struggling won't change a thing. Why are you so cruel? I never attack a human, I just live like humans do, normal life. The child shook his head in exasperation, watching the blood fiend trying to speak through his mangled gums and lips. What? You serious? You are a monster, a beast filled with nothing but yearning for blood. You can act like a human, but your nature doesn't change. Sure, a few corpses might fill you up for now, but sooner or later you won't be able to stand that yearning. Besides, you have other sins to answer for, don't you? What sins? I just want to live a quiet life with my family. Would you look at the time? Let's wrap this up, okay? With that, the child raised the hammer over his head and slammed it onto the blood fiend's head. Then again, and again, and again until he could no longer regenerate, until the sun began to rise over the horizon. Only when even the blood fiend's fingers stopped twitching did the child rise from his position with a hollow smile. Family, huh? That's a good one. I'm sure it mentioned the family only because it didn't know who contracted me for this job, but that's really funny. The child unfolded the tiny piece of paper, dipped his fingers in the pool of blood that filled the room, and drew a red circle. On the paper was a heartfelt request, a contract on the life of a blood fiend that turned one of their family into a kindred before fleeing. Will your real family no longer be your own after you get turned into a kindred? I suppose that's why he protested his innocence to the end, but... The child produced several other pieces of paper, all yet to be circled, and read them. He found one of them that seemed particularly relevant to what the blood fiend said, and unfolded it. Blood fiends are, at the end of the day, evil from the moment they are born. Is their nature? The child quietly left the building, red sun rising behind him. He may rest for a short while, but it will be long before he finds true respite. Beneath the surface of the city, blood fiends and their victims still skulked within. And whether he wished to or not, the child had to behold so many more things about blood fiends in his shimmering eye before he would be able to return. Yeah, that's a brutal one. Anyhow, with all that blood... Okay, yeah, so Uptie 4 is what gives him the anti-bleed effect on his guard skill. It also enhances his combat passive. If this unit has bleed, inflict 3 rupture on hit twice per turn, if the target has 10 rupture or it's one of the above, all that good stuff. So, until next time guys, take care, I'll see you all around.
필요한 서류가 꽤 많네요.
이 단안경은 예전에 공방에서 일했던 저희 저번에 생포한 혈기분은 집에 보내드리기로 했어요. 집안 어르신분들이 좋아하실걸요? 오래 사는 혈기에 대해 분명 궁금해하실 테니까요.